Anyway, so here we are, and oh, here it is. I can't lose that. This little spring does not show up on any of the places that sell the parts. I checked on the Amazons, half a dozen other places. I checked where e-replacement parts, they show the bottom guard, they show the full attachment. The full attachment, believe it or not, cost you, I think it was $161, and the saw only cost $79. Anyway, they show everything, they sell everything, but none of them have this spring. And you need this spring because the spring is what brings this thing back down when you put the saw down. Otherwise, this is just going to flop around. So anyway, I carelessly took this apart because I was more concerned to get it apart to find out exactly what was going on in part numbers. So I didn't pay attention. What did I do with my coffee? On exactly how I took it apart. However, there isn't very many moving parts here, so. And it's isn't rocket scientist. I mean, rocket science. This goes on here. That spring has to go on so that it keeps pulling this back. That's kind of simple. So the spring should attach somewhere up in here to there. That's all. So other than that, now it's just a matter of taking things apart. Now this screw, that's the only screw that's there. So why is that the only screw there? Well, let me take it out. I actually don't remember there's 3 screws. I don't remember taking these screws out. I may have though. You know, memory starts to fail me after a while. I should just get the electric screwdriver. It makes it a lot easier for me. Well, that one's frozen. See, I didn't take these out, so how did I get that off? Or get that apart without taking these out? How did I do that? I didn't take these off. Because this saw really hasn't been used. Except for maybe once. Before I just bought another one and put it away. So, put that back in there. Get in there before I forget you're there, you little piece of shit. Now this one is a little difficult. So I'm going to try first giving it a tighten turn. Wait a minute. Where's my little, there it is. Little persuader. Oh, if I can do it with holding this at the same time. Hello! I should just turn it up on end. I think that would probably be the best bet. Because then I can push down on it instead of trying to push in on it. Makes sense to me, doesn't it? Wow, that tucker is tight. There we go. Even with the persuader on it. Years ago, like I said, for 40 plus years, I've always been teaching firearms, so that's always been my main thing, if that's what you want to call it. However, I ventured out into a number of different ventures of businesses. Okay, I'm going to start this over only because I realized in the interim, as I'm talking and doing things, that I was telling you a little bit about my trials and tribulations of being in business and things and such, and I looked at the time and I was up to 19 minutes, so I said, you know what, I got to stop just mumbling and just kind of get through this. So I am going to start over and hopefully not bore you for any more than 10 to 12 minutes, and I'll do a part 2 if you want to hear it or not. So that's where I'm at. But first thing is, I'm working on this saw. That's where I started. The new guard came in. Alright, so what I'm doing is I am in the
message from Vinny W.
Oh, Vinny Weil. I'm in the midst, he lives in Florida, Cape Coral. I'm in the midst of getting this back on. However, I misplaced a piece. Oh, here it is. There's a spring here that gets attached to something, because this spring, I had to make sure I had this spring, because in everything that I looked at, spring, when I was looking to buy the guard, nobody had this spring on their sites. I tried Amazon and 5 or 6 of their sites, nobody had it. I tried my e-replacement parts, nobody has it. Nobody shows this spring. Well, this spring is what brings the guard back and forth when you put the saw down. That keeps tension on the bottom guard. So without that, you know, I mean, you might as well not have a bottom guard at all. So that's what I was looking for. So I found it, so I was able to order the bottom guard. However, I don't see where it attached to. Now I do see a hole here with a thread, which tells me, and that's where the spring goes to on the guard. So it tells me that must be something I took out of that hole, a screw, that had something on it to hold that spring. So that's what I'm in the midst of looking for or doing. So I got to see what I can see and look around for a minute. So let me go find that, and then I'll come back and finish my stories. Alright, anyway, where am I here? So, okay, so we got the bottom guard on with the spring. Okay, that's how that works. So, and now we'll just put the top guard back on, and hopefully everything will fit in just hunky-dory. And we should be all set here. So anyway, when I was trying to get that spring, I was just getting on a little bit of a rant, and I ended up going into 19 minutes. But anyway, I was talking about getting parts. When I there it is. Okay. Yeah. When I was looking for the part, nobody had it. And the other thing I noticed that lately, I've been buying things even at the stores, and I've been finding that shit just doesn't fit anymore. I mean, I don't know what the problems are. Well, I know what it is. Everything is being outsourced to China. You know, the companies here are no longer taking pride in their name than in how much they have in the bank. Boy, am I going to have some editing to do. 3 times I started this. Basically, I replaced the bottom guard on this thing. Now, I'm going to have to splice all the stuff that I did in the other ones into this one. So you're going to see a lot of chopping. Just, you know, end and begin, only because I'm not one of these gradual splicers to where, you know, I try to make it unnoticeable. You're going to know that I spliced it. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all this again, but it's done.